Wendy Say Found Pen News. I may get interrupted here, but I wanted to take a few minutes and talk about something that really struck me. I was listening to the Pen Addict Podcast with Brad Dowdy, and he had a special guest, April Wu from Penguins Creative, and she said a lot of things that really got me thinking. But the main thing was this wonderful, she kind of compiled a quote from a longer writing. Let me find it here. This was Itoi Shigesato-san, the founder of Hobonichi, and I'm just going to read it. So he said, "I get the feeling there's never been a container to keep things that surface during unnameable times. Unimportant things that stick with you or things that resonate with you when you really don't know why. I would like the Hobonichi Techo to be a fishing net to catch all of the things you think and feel during your unnameable times. And there will be times you can't catch a fish, and there will be days you don't fish. But with 365 days in a year, over time your net will fill with plenty of minnows, and such is the wealth of our thoughts." And that completely sums up for me why I write in a journal, why I write things down, why I am constantly doodling or scratching on paper. And another thing, I just wanted to give his definition of that unnameable time, or those nameless moments. When people are alone, they have this hazy blank period of time they can't put a name to. The nameless feelings experienced during those nameless times make up a major element of a person. And one day, like a bubble surfacing in water, something will emerge in the form of words. I hope the Hobonichi Techo can serve as a means to keep those words. And so it just really has me just thinking, and I've been sending this around and talking to people about it, and I think it's really amazing. And one other thing that Brad Dowdy said on this podcast, and I'll link all of this below so you guys can go and listen yourself, was that his favorite thing is meeting people and talking about how they're using their things. And so I'm going to start doing some of my videos, at least, or maybe all of them, I don't know, in the format of this is how I use this. And I realized as I've been thinking about this that some of my favorite YouTubers, Simone, Chris Saenz, Shauna at Serial Nana, Ali at Little Coco Studios, Karina Loves to Plan, the Coffee Monsters Co., it feels like we're hanging out because they're showing me how they're using their things. And so this is how I'm using these things, and I'm just going to zoom out a little bit so you can see. So this is a Hobonichi Play notebook. I have these all over the place in my life. I write in them all the time. Sometimes I use them as a straight up journal where I write down what I'm thinking and feeling, and sometimes I do other things like ink swatching in them. I marked a couple pages here. Here's some ink swatching. I wrote down the idea for this video in here, and also another I'll do transcriptions and things like that also. So one of the things I thought was really interesting about his take on this was he wanted it to be a fishing net. And I just kept thinking about the design of the Hobonichi with the little squares, the little tiny grid, and thinking of that as a fishing net. And I just think it's so beautiful, and I'm so excited. So these books I use to the max. I doodle in them. I write down what packages are coming. I write down all kinds of stuff in this kind of book. And then this is, surprise, and Liebe. I actually keep my Pelican M1000 in here. And, oh, the neighbor started their car. Wonderful. This is my everyday journal, and I just write. Some days I don't write at all, and some days I write pages and pages and pages. But I thought I'd show a couple of pages. This is an Odyssey notebook in the Liebe cover, and I love the Odyssey notebooks because they're 68 GSM Tomoe River paper, and they are numbered, which when I do find a moment that's really one of those unnameable moments in an unnameable time that I want to capture, one of those minnows, or even if it's maybe a big fish, I can put the page number down. So I marked a couple of these pages here to show just sort of like what this book, I don't want to show too much because some of it's personal. I mean, it's all personal, right? It's very personal. But sometimes I do currently inked in here. So I'll just start writing down whatever pens I happen to be using at that moment. Let's see if I marked anything else. I did. Let's see what this is. Oh, these are my notes that I was taking last night. So, you know, it started me really thinking about all of the things and how I use them. So this is how I use these things. And I hope that maybe this felt as true to you as it did to me. And I will be back at you pretty soon with more how I use this videos, with the idea that I'm using my things and connecting with people. When, you know, these YouTubers, it just feels like we're hanging out, and I hope that that's the case here for you also. So thank you. Like, subscribe, Pen News. Boop, 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 boop.